Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Raptor X here with Good Clean Gaming RX, and today I begin my series on Star Citizen, how to get started in the verse, just a basic introduction for new players and those returning to the verse who have not played in a little while. So, on the main screen here, first of all, you've got your three different modes: Persistent Universe, which is where most of it goes on; Star Marine, which is a arcade type first-person shooter mode; and Arena Commander, which is a arcade type ship versus ship mode, where there's no first person action in there. You have your friends pane, of course, on the right hand side, and notifications down below. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the Persistent Universe. For those of you who are creating a character and just getting into a new patch, you'll have to select a spawn location. I recommend Lorville at this point. It's pretty easy to get out of the location and get out of the planet and actually get out into space. And there's a decent selection of various different shops and places that you can purchase things there, as well as the New Deal ship sales store, where one can purchase most of the various ships and vehicles in game. Character customization, of course, is something that you can do to change your in-game appearance. This is mine. I'm not making any changes to mine, but after you've done that, you can go ahead and select a location. And we're going to go ahead and wake up in Lorville, which, especially for new players, is where I would recommend starting. So we'll pick this up as soon as we've loaded in. Okay, so here we are. There's currently an event going on, Jump Town. Actually, it's not Jump Town, it's Siege of Orison, which is something that I covered a little bit in my other video. So that's what's going on in the upper right hand side there. When you first get into the verse, you'll be in your bed. This is always how you wake up. You can get out of your bed by either holding the W key, or really any of the directional movement keys, or holding Y, which will also get you out of any seat that you choose to sit into. For instance, if I'm sitting down in the chairs here, and yes, most of the chairs can be sat in the verse, using any of the directional movement keys will allow you to get out of there. To get out of your little hab area, you'll come over to the door, hold the F key on your keyboard and click on open, and that'll open it out into the commons area of this little habitation pod. There are a couple different things around here, NPCs. There's really not a whole lot of stuff that you can do in any of this area. As far as I'm aware, there are no shops or anything that you can purchase anything. The billiard table, none of that really works. This is just where you'll wake up. So, without further ado, we'll go back up to the exit, which is clearly marked. It's always on this second story area. It'll just be on this end opposite the window, with the big exit sign over it. Again, you'll hold F, which is the interaction key, and click on Call Elevator. And that will allow you to call the elevator, which should show up momentarily. You'll see that you've actually got that called when the elevator called button lights up and blinks. You'll hold F again and click on ground floor, and that'll take you down to the main exit. Okay, so here we are. There are some more elevators over there coming down from the habs. A little location over here with a little NPC who at this point doesn't do anything. You're going to go this way towards the bright light. There's a little Kovalex shipping and receiving hub there. Not really anything that you need to worry about at this point, but we'll get into that later. You're going to follow this path to the right, and head down these stairs. There's a little viewing area. You can kind of see some of the rest of Lorville. And the big Lorville Central Business District building over to the left. Now, to actually get to one of the usable areas, or area that you can do something, you'll turn to the left and follow these stairs. This area, there's not really a whole lot over here. There's the security depot. I generally head to the left. And this is where you'll reach your first signpost. This one should cycle, and we'll see a little bit of a map, kind of showing where everything is located. There used to be one there, at least. Perhaps they moved that. Anyway, this is the Metro Center to the left. And if you head over there, there's the signpost, right there. That kind of shows you the site map and where all of the different locations are. So, your station locations, we are right there on the red dot. And you've got your station over there, which you can go to the perimeter line or to the spaceport line by going through there. We'll go there in a little bit. Then if we go back that way, we'll be able to go to the residences, which we just left. Central Booking, Tammany and Sons, which is a location where you can buy armor and weapons. Maria Pure of Heart, which is the hospital. M&V Bar, which is the bar of the location. And then the Reclamation and Disposal. So we'll go ahead and head to those different areas and kind of see what they have. You can hold down the shift button, of course, to run, as you would in most other places. And a good way of finding your way around is just to follow these little arrows and the yellow tracks on the floor. That one, of course, is to Levston Station and to the admin office. This one's to the Maria Pure of Heart, which is the hospital on Lorville. That one's to the Metro Center, and of course to the residences, which we've just left from. This is Levston Square with the Maria Pure of Heart Hospital. This is where you'll wake up if you happen to get killed and have not changed your spawn point location. This was actually added in one of the more recent patches. And this is kind of a little tour of the interior. The desk, where you can check in if you need to get your injuries fixed. The pharmacy, where you can purchase various different healing and other medical items, such as med pens, refills for the various different lifeguard attachments, and so on. Most of the beds where you'll wake up will be up there, although there are a couple other locations. So you'll just want to head to the giant statue there in the middle, and then you can just take a right and head out to the exits. There should be a place over here as well where you can set your spawn point. I'll see if I can find that quickly as well. Insurance. There we are. That would make sense. Regeneration. This is basically where you can set your spawn point. I've currently got mine set here, so I can set this to reset my location, and if I die, I will wake up here at Lorville in the Maria Pure of Heart station. Okay, we'll go back to the exit now. And see what else we can see around Levston Square. This is the M&V bar. Where you can go down, talk with a couple of different NPCs. I don't think really any of them do a whole lot at this point. Occasionally there are ones that you can interact with, but for the most part they're just window dressing at this point. That'll come in the future. Again, the billiard tables and the bar itself. Oh, someone's left us a drink. You can interact with those. You can interact with the bartender, of course, and get yourself something to drink if you wish to. I'm a teetotaler, so I won't be getting any alcohol at this point. Alright. We'll go ahead and head over here just to see what we can see. And this gets us back out one of the other exits.
Welcome to Leavesden Station. Transfers to the Central Line.
Okay, so that's the Central Line. That takes you over to the Central Business District, where we'll go in a moment. This is Tammany and Sons, where you can purchase armor, weapons, ammunition, and various other items. We'll go ahead and scroll through some of these. These are mining modules and mining gadgets, which you can pick up once you get to the point of having a prospector or a mole, which will allow you to upgrade your mining capacity or capabilities. You've got various different water and food, which you will have to buy occasionally, generally once a session, depending on how long you play. Various different ammunitions, hats, clothing, undersuits, and the like. You can sort all of these, of course, by choosing a category. For instance, utility, where you can get all of your different mining gadgets. Miscellaneous, where you've got medical and food. Personal weapons, where you can buy ammunition and weapons. Which, if you start getting into bunkers or anything like that, are highly recommended. And of course you've got attachments or personal weapons. There's kind of a limited selection at this location. The combat knife, pyro multi-tool, and the grenade. Clothing, where you can get various different cosmetic items and clothing. They really don't do a whole lot for you. They do have a little bit of limited storage as far as being able to store items. Various different hats and whatnot that you can get. But for the most part, you'll run around in an undersuit or in armor. If you do happen to die, you'll respawn with a white beacon undersuit. And a helmet, which it's quite important to wear when you're going out in space, as you'll suffocate without them. As you can see, there are various different armors on display as well that you can purchase by, again, holding down the F key and kind of mousing around to purchase them. Clicking on Try On Suit. Oops. Don't want to buy that. There you go. Will allow you to look and see how you'll look in it. Although you can't really rotate around. May have discovered a bug here. One moment. There we go. Gotten out of that. This one here is the Pembroke Exploration Suit, which allows you to survive very, very hot temperatures. And then you've got the Avril Hazard. It doesn't do a whole lot as far as cold or heat protection, but it is kind of nice to go with your mining outfit if you feel like running with something like that. We'll go ahead and leave Tammany and Sons. There's a little torpedo burrito right there. Don't think you can purchase anything at this point. It's really just aesthetics. You've got various different things over here, but none of them are interactable at this point. Again, lots of window dressing to make it look pretty, but for the most part, a lot of this stuff more out of the way is not interactable. You can't get onto the train tracks, drive the forklifts, anything like that. So we're going to go ahead and we'll head back up to the central business line exit. Which will be just over here. And we'll grab a train. Most of this stuff is signposted pretty well, so if you just kind of look around almost like you're in an airport, you should be able to find most of the instructions to actually get places. You'll have to wait for the train. At this point, we only have 15 or 16 seconds. So it's pretty quick, but I have seen them run as long as a minute.
Now arriving. Stand by and let passengers disembark before boarding.
There's our tram. We'll go ahead and get in. You used to be able to sit down on the seats, but it appears that they've disabled that at this point. So we're left standing. You'll be able to see your time until destination and the next place that you're going to be stopping, right here. And over there. At this point, it's close to a minute. So we'll go take a look outside and see some of the sights. This is the Lorville landing zone from the tram. Quite beautiful during the daytime, and especially at night, all of these buildings light up quite nicely. You can see all the different neon signs and all that. It's actually quite a beautiful location if you don't mind all of the smog and pollution and all that kind of stuff floating around in the air during the night. I suppose it does show up during the daytime as well, although it's a little bit harder to see at this point.
Now arriving, Central Station. Please watch your step when disembarking the train.
This is the giant Central Business District station. And here we are. Now, depending on which train you take, this one will take you back and you'll head back to the station, or back to the habitation area. If you go down there, that one will take you back to the Teasa spaceport, where you can actually exit and go to space. This is the Central Business District. Once you get into mining or trading, this is where a lot of that sort of thing is sold, especially the mineable resources. So you'll just head up here and take a little look around. This is one of the statues of one of the founders of Hurston. I'm not sure exactly who he is. I'll have to bone up on my lore a little bit to find out who all these different people are. Transfers over here is where you can buy and sell commodities, generally for transportation to another location. It's also known as the TD&D location. So if you hear someone referring to that, this is the TDD at Lorville. I don't have any ships currently that I can store anything in, but you can buy and sell items here by selecting a location and then purchasing any of the commodities that you see on the screen here. Very nice, very modern and business looking. We'll head back out. Now, across from transfers, you have the HD showcase, which is where you can see all of the attrition weapons, which are the Hurston Dynamics specific weapons, made and manufactured by Hurston Dynamics. And this is the only place in the verse where you can purchase them. As you can see, some very large guns. This one is a size 6. They go all the way up to size 10. I don't think any of those are available at this location. I think 6 is as big as they get here. But there are size 10 weapons available in the game. Most of them on very, very, very large ships. Now the weapons here run the gauntlet from laser repeaters to scatter guns, and I believe they have laser cannons as well. All of these are available to purchase here at the Hurston Dynamics shipping and trading console. The repeaters are laser repeaters, and then you have the scatter guns size 1, 2, and 3, which are more like a ballistic shotgun. Close range, high damage. Once you get farther away, they don't do a whole lot. You can choose category and the specific type, and if you happen to have another ship that you can store these in, you can choose that ship. I don't, so they're just being deposited here at Lorville. If you happen to have any Express weapons, you can always sell them as well, although you'll get varying returns depending on where you're selling those at. Just holding the backwards button, or S, on your keyboard will get you out of any of those shipping and trading consoles. Okay, so we're going to head back out of here. Now, there is a mission in this area where you can talk to one of the Hurstons. This is in the personal tab, I believe. Investigation. Maintenance, bounty hunter, research. Kathleen Hurston, I believe, or Catherine Hurston. And I believe she is... Oh! We've got the Hurston Dynamics timeline, where you can actually see a little bit of the lore. And there is somewhere in here, I believe, a business office where you can actually meet with Ms. Hurston. Possibly over here. There we are. Nope. This is just the runaround. Perhaps they've removed that. A lot of this is in constant state of flux. A lot of these locations will stay the same, but there are a few changes occasionally. Alright, so heading back down to the trams. We're going to head to the left-hand side, which will take us back to the spaceport. Ooh, and we're going to make the tram just in time. I do love it when that happens. Alright, train will be departing, and we're going to be heading to Tisa Spaceport, which is where you'll actually be heading out into space. tram ride. The route is a little bit different on this one because we are going to a different location. And this train ride takes just over a minute to actually get there. This is Tisa Spaceport, or what you can see of it from the train ride. Get a little bit better view as soon as we round the corner over here. One of the things that I wish we could do is actually see out the front of the train and see where we're going, but unfortunately that's not the design. As you can see, Tisa Spaceport floating up there. And there are various different landing hangars out there inside that kind of rectangular area.
Now arriving, Tisa Spaceport. Please watch your step when disembarking the train.
And here we are at Tisa Spaceport. Exit is to the right, as you can see from the signpost there. And you can follow the signs on the floor. And we'll show you the locations that you're looking for. Metro Center, that's where we woke up. And of course the Central Business District, right there, if you have to go and trade something at the TD&D station. Rapid Transit, this kind of shows you a map, whether you want to go to the Perimeter Line East, Spaceport Line, Commerce Line, or the Central Line. You've got your fines and citations payment system here, just in case you happen to be locked out or land at a station and block the access. You will get a fine if you sit on a pad for too long without having authorization, which you can request, and we'll explain as soon as we get to that part. This is Terminal 5 on the Tisa Spaceport, the only terminal currently, and these are the ASOP terminals, where you'll actually request your ship to be brought to a hangar. I have my Aegis Gladius here. You just click on Retrieve, and they'll put it into a hangar for you. You can remember this, or you can look around and you'll see here where it says Hangar 9, and that's a reminder to kind of let you know where your ship is going to be at. Nice view here out onto the spaceport. As you can see, the Gladius is over there in the hangar, and there are a whole bunch of other hangars over there. You can't do anything over here. This is all closed off and locked. Security guards, of course. They won't bother you. Even if you go out and bother them, they're just there to make sure that nobody gets into trouble. They've got an M50 on display here. This is more of a very, very fast racing and interceptor ship. And of course we have the New Deal ship store, where if you've saved up your space pennies or Alpha UEC, you can go in and purchase any of the ships that are available to buy. You've of course got the Prospector up the top there, which is your first person, or not first person, but a single crew mining ship, and really one that I recommend for mining. You've got the Origin 85X Limited, a luxury two-person transport ship. Very, very quick, easy for getting in and out of locations. And then the Aurora LX, which is a variant of one of the starter ships, the Aurora LN. Any of these, of course, can be purchased along with any of the other ships that you can purchase over here at one of the new deal screens, where they have all the different ships that you can purchase, how much they're going to be, how much you currently have, and what your balance will be when you're finished. I'm currently saving up for an Asperia blade, which I don't see here anywhere. That might very well be at the Area 18 location, as I'm not seeing it here. Not all ships, of course, are purchasable at every location, but the large majority of them are available. And of course, if you want to set your eyes on some of the bigger ships, you can head down here, where you'll see one of the Mustangs. I believe this is the Delta. Mustang Beta. That's related to one of the ones that you get, or that you can purchase as a starter package. The Constellation, I believe this one is the Phoenix? Constellation Phoenix, yep, this is the luxury version of the Constellation. And then you have the Hammerhead, one of the biggest ships in the game, manufactured by Aegis Dynamics, and boasting 6 very large turrets capable of dealing a massive amount of damage. All of these can be accessed and toured if you feel like running around and getting into them. You can go up to any of these and call the elevator. After a short moment it'll head down. And you can climb on and head up and tour the ships. I'm not going to do that currently because that'll make the length of this video significantly longer than I was hoping to be. So we'll just send that back up again. So, once you've called your ship at the ASOP terminal over there, you're going to head this direction. As you can see, the elevators are over here. And kind of follow these lights in the ceiling. There's the bank of elevators. You've got Vantage Rentals, where if you happen to have a few pennies laying around, you can rent any of the different ships here for a limited amount of time, just to test them out, or if you need a quick transport of something that you don't currently have a ship to do that with. There's a decent number of these. Some of them small. There's the Alpha, which is a starter. The Anvil Arrow, a light fighter. The Titan and Warden. Various different ships. Temporal Cyclone. There's a decent selection. We're going to go ahead and head up to our elevator, which you can again hold F and click to call the elevator. Any of these elevators will go to any of the hangars, so you don't have to worry about picking a specific one. You'll just click on the hangar that you have. I'm in hangar 9, so I'm going to hold F and scroll down, and then click on hangar 9. After a couple seconds, the doors will close, and you'll be whisked off to the hangar that your ship is in. There we are. Okay, so this is the Aegis Gladius, one of the best light fighters in the game. Currently up to the gold standard, or the best standard that they have for ships. Various different item ports that you can access by opening them. Again, you can hold F and left click to open any of the different interactables. Quantum drive access. Can't do anything with that currently, but they can be swapped out. Your fuel intake is back here. There's a storage access right here. You can actually get into and put things into your storage from local inventory. It's not a whole lot of space in there, but you can bring a little bit of stuff. You have a gun rack over on this side, which you can open and put a couple of different guns on there if you're wanting to transport some extra ones. And of course, the access to get in. And there we are. At this point, my ship is turned on all the way, but you'll probably not start with yours turned on. So I'll go ahead and turn mine off, like you would see. You can hold F and look around the cockpit to turn all of these different buttons on manually. Spool quantum drive, turn on power on, or flight ready. Navigation displays, and various other buttons. However, I generally just hit R on the keyboard, and he goes through the motions and turns everything on. Your shields will power up. As you can see, in this case, on the left-hand side here, you'll start to get a display of those. Reset my power priority over there so that they charge up a little bit faster. There we go. And there we are. Full shields. Okay. To request takeoff, you're going to hit F1 on your keyboard. And you're going to go down here to the comlink, friends, and hit Lorville landing. You'll click on this and it'll open a comms channel where they'll open the hangar doors above you, or in some cases in front of you. The doors will be opened and you'll be cleared for takeoff. You can hold Z to look around without changing your controls, and of course hold F to look around your cockpit. Taking off can be done by holding the spacebar to go up. You can go down by holding Control. Holding the W key will accelerate you forwards. S will brake or throw you into reverse. You can hold A or D to slide to the left or to the right. And Q and E are left and right roll, respectively. Your mouse is used to control pitch and yaw. And with that, we can go ahead and head to space. Nose up, hold W, and that'll get you heading up out of the atmosphere and into space. Holding the Shift key will kick in Boost, which allows you to accelerate quicker, turn quicker if you happen to be turning, or if you're holding X for space brake, will allow you to slow down quicker as well. Be aware that that burns out over time and will have to recharge, as you can see on the left-hand side panel where it says Boost. Once you get out into space, you will click the B button on your keyboard, which will spool the quantum drive, and give you various different markers that you can travel to. In this case, I'm going to look for the square one, which will be Everest Harbor. There it is. You're going to align to this. Basically just put your cursor over it and remain stationary, and then hold B to initiate quantum travel. Generally that's a little bit smoother, but unfortunately this time it was not. Ooh, having a little bit of problems actually today. Oh, and a crash. Okay, so we've recovered from the crash. If you can get back into your game within about 2 minutes, it should dump you right back where you were. But if it takes a little longer than that, you'll just wake up at the landing zone that you started from. So here we are at Everest Harbor again. I'm going to go ahead and accelerate towards it. Be careful, of course, you don't want to go too quickly. And keep in mind that this pointer right here in the middle, it kind of looks like the arrows pointing towards each other, is where your ship is actually moving towards. So even if you're going and nosing off this direction, the ship is still actually moving towards those twin arrows. When you get close to the station, you'll be able to contact air traffic control to land, and you'll use the same procedure here as you did to take off. So you'll hit F1, click on Comlink, click on Friends, and contact Everest Harbor, where you'll be assigned a landing pad. You'll have this little arrow that will point to where that landing pad is going to be, and they've replaced all the landing pads with hangars at this point, so caution is advised when approaching to make sure that you don't smack into the station. You can scroll down on your mouse wheel, which will bring your speed limiter down and help you to control how quickly you're going. I've got that feature turned off on mine because I generally don't use it much anyway. You get to the point where you're pretty capable and don't need it. The easiest way to get into these I've found is just to line up on the crosshairs, move towards them, slow down of course as you get close because you don't want to smack into the surface, and then nose up until you're in the proper landing position. Hit the N key to put your landing gear down. There we are. You can hit F4 to switch to an outside view of the ship, and then just pulse the control key until you contact the deck. You can shut down your engines with I, which is recommended on this patch because there have been issues with leaving them on and coming back to find your ship floating. P will turn off your weapons. I will turn off your shield, or O will turn off your shields. And U will turn off your avionics to completely shut down your ship.
Shields online. Systems offline.
You can again hold F and exit the ship. You can head to this landing bay area to actually exit the hangar. Call the elevator. You'll get used to that. There's a lot of elevators. And click on lobby by holding F and clicking on the lobby button. Here are your ASOP terminals. You can click on that and hit Store, which safely puts your ship into the local inventory of the station, and then allows you, of course, to retrieve that at a later point. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the Lorville tour and getting started. I'll continue to do these videos on the other major landing zones to basically show off how to get around and get you started in your adventures in the verse. Until then, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta.